Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be a highlight of GosuCoaching's League of Legends coaching team. Team coaching here on the top, Ryze, Ashe, Nasus, Udyr, and Poppy, being fielded by elements Pharaoh, Lociero, Spunkify, and Colby Cheese. Their opponents, which will just be team opponent, is Singe, Swain, Tristana, Fiddlesticks, being fielded by Super John, Kevin Blaze, Chewbacca, Girlstar, and Medikai. I like that name, Medikai. And I feel like team coaching a little bit more beefy. They have Udyr, Nasus, and Poppy, all considered tank characters. They don't have a lot of range to them, though. So really, the team opponent is going to try to kite as much as possible, particularly in the team fights. And really, I think the core of their team needs to focus around Lux and Singe. Lux and Singe have to be successful to have any sort of ability to stand up against this team. In the team fights mid-game, it looks like a clairvoyance right there to get a good look at where the guys are moving out, things like that. Looks like Lociero already moving out. Has some tank cloth armor. He's going to be filling in that tank role. Colby Cheese is going to be pushing forward very close by with Poppy. I assume they're going to engage around the blue buff area because they have a jungle Fiddlesticks. Their opponents, they saw a smite, which allows, basically it allows it's a summoner spell ability, which I believe one of these guys has. I think it's Udyr, which I can't click on and actually show you, but it does a bunch of instantaneous damage to a large minion. The large minion blue buff is right here. It provides mana regeneration, cooldown reductions, things like that. Is very big for Fiddlesticks or any jungler early. So it looks like they are going to push up to try to engage to try to slow Fiddlesticks down, maybe catch an early kill. And they are going to catch Medikai in the bushes. Poppy right there and instantly goes to the north and pins him to the corner, and nice! Spunkify able to get the kill with about, wow, in just about a half second right there. The rest of the team scattering. Looks like, just seems like team coaching was in a better position to start. Lociero did take some damage, but that's exactly the player they wanted to take the damage. An early tank, he has plenty of health potions to work with. Looks like Pharaoh actually has a Elixir of Fortitude, which is an interesting jungle item that'll make him a little bit more intimidating against the Fiddlesticks. If he decides to cross the river, he can also be a little bit more aggressive off lanes. I like that decision overall. Lociero's spotting, just in case, it looks like they're both spotting just in case there's an attack from the south. Looks like that Udyr Pharaoh is moving towards the blue buff on the opposite side. I think Spunkify is going to spot right in this region. Use Ghost or Flash perhaps to escape and give a heads up to Udyr, or maybe even engage if it's just a single player to have a 2-on-1 situation. Ryze is going to be one solo lane. Looks like you're going to have Spunkify as Ashe in the second. He's filling in the damage dealing ranged sort of field, and it looks like Element's actually going to push up, continue to harass that Fiddlesticks. One stun right there and a single hit, and Fiddlesticks going to have to back out, and that sucks because he's going to 3-on-2 situation though. Needs to be careful because already the Fiddlesticks didn't get the golem buff, took some damage, is lower on mana than he wanted to be, and just that little bit of disruption is absolutely huge. Udyr, in the meantime, taking that blue buff without too much trouble. This is going to be a difficult lane. Ryze, yes, he has stuns, yes, he has some burst, but Tristana has range, can do a lot of damage, and can critically, with one of her abilities, disrupt healing. And she's very mobile, so a very tough opponent. This is going to be an absolutely key lane. Medikai and Super John need to be dominant against these two. You have Super John who's ranged, so she can pick away a little bit, maybe have a little bit more lane presence against two melee characters. And as well, they want to play as back to the turret as possible, just let the minion pushes come, because Singe has a toss ability, can draw him into that turret range, and turrets do a ton of damage. And he's actually gone the Sapphire Crystal, so he's going AP, which I believe is a huge mistake. He needs to be as tanky as possible because he's the only tank on this corner. Maybe they're going to try to play a pick-off sort of style where they just toss an opponent back, pick him off one at a time. Poppy getting a little bit too close to that turret. A stun right there, and this might be the end of her. Looks like she got tossed at a bad angle, and yeah, that's a kill. Element's just getting too greedy, and that's the weirdness is due to artifact of the replay. Basically, I can see what Spunkify sees, but not much else. We'll see. So not exactly even, because First Blood does give you additional boosts, but it's a little bit closer now. Lociero is going to get the missed economy, and that is really big again for who I would say that are the two core players on the opposite team, Medikai and Super John. Top lane looks like Spunkify is going, and this is almost a mirror of the middle lane where you have a mage with a lot of disables, a lot of stuns, and some bursts to him. Swain, also very good farmer. Oh, and I missed another kill. It looks like middle lane, just seeing the corpse of Ryze. And like I was talking about, Tristana, just mobile, and that is the character you do not want to have kills in the opposite end. Tristana is the ranged damage dealer carry as well. The carry, and just to explain carries really fast to people who are not familiar with League of Legends, Udyr taking over the middle lane in the meantime. A carry is more or less a character that can do a lot of damage very rapidly, but not, but a little bit item dependent. Lociero taking some damage, getting a little bit too close to Singe, and getting tossed back once again, and getting poisoned as well, and looks like having to use some heals. Yes, because of the replay, it's still a little bit odd. Riot Games, I wish you'd get me a commentary system for this. But great player, great people there, by the way. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone at Riot Games, in particular the absolutely suave Byronic hero. And of course Freak. So, and it looks like the minion's pushing down. Losiro does not know about the bush, needs to be somewhat careful, because if he gets caught in a stun between that and Medikai, can be very, very risky. There's a stun right there, catches Losiro. Looks like Medikai not in position. Element's getting too close, trying to provide some defense, and might end up getting paid in the face again. So poisoned, took a turret hit, and again low on health, needs to be very, very careful. Swain not on the top lane. Engagement actually in the middle. Pharaoh taking on Fiddlesticks in open ground, doesn't have the blue buff, but has more damage plus stuns and whatnot. He is, wow, nice stun right there. Does take out Fiddlesticks. Was silenced along the way, and let's see if he's going to be able to pull it in time. I wish I had a health reading. Chewbacca also coming off the lane, desperately wanting to kill, but it looks like Pharaoh is going to be able to escape, and that is huge. Because every time you can draw opponents off lane right there, kill the opponent's jungler, you are creating a snowball effect. And the more kills you get, the more mistakes you're forcing your opponents to make. The more powerful you get, the more weaker as a result they are on the opposite side. So, and it looks like Medikai and Super John now pushing down, perhaps with more poison, tossing Losiro once again, not in a good position to stun. Missing the stun right there, instead getting a minion, but now working on elements. And both players, it looks like, it's just having difficulty against a very strong lane combination here. It doesn't look like Ryze is continuing to die here in the mid lane, but having some difficulty against Chewbacca. Going to take a quick look at the minion kills as well as items. Looks like Udyr already has that Modred's Razor out to just assist with some jungle. Missed a kill while I was looking at that. Looks like, sorry about that. I can't catch everything just because there's so much action, and I don't have a rewind function. I have a pause function, which I think I might use to look at the items here. It just kind of slows things down a lot. But looking at things out in the field, looks like Ryze working, I assume, on a Rod of Ages. Spunkify has gone Dorian Shield to start, to have a little bit more health, things like that. Nasus just going for some of those tanky items, has 2 assists already, so sitting pretty, is at the highest minion kill count on the opposite side with 23, and that, I believe, feeds directly in, one of his abilities feeds directly into ability power, so that'll make him more effective over the long term. This is interesting. You have a Philosopher's Stone, and I have not seen that build for Poppy, and perhaps it's leading to an element that I'm not familiar with one of the new patches. Pharaoh already has a Modred's Razor. That'll help. And there's Smite does 420 damage plus 25 times your level to an enemy minion or pet, which is, again, awesome. Boots for Tristana with a Dorian's Blade. 2 looks like Doran's Rings as well on the spellcasters to get some of that regeneration. It looks like it's a very AP heavy team on being fielded in team opponent right now, and so they might want to get magic resistance a little bit early on team coaches. Just seeing that, it looks like Tristana still doing some harassment, having some difficulty. Kobe-Cheese is landing several spells, pushing him back. He also has that Ruby Crystal working away towards Callus to provide some support in the top lane. Spunkify, level 6 already, so he has an arrow to work with to maybe pick some opponents off across the field if Swain is out of view and can't call it in time. I assume these guys are going to be on vent with each other. Pharaoh moving up to try to take the dragon. I don't know if this is warded or not. Again, I don't have the view here, but it looks like 3 players are accounted for. Keep in mind, Fiddlesticks might be off lane. There is a missing character here at the bottom lane, so it is possible you'll see a 2-on-1 situation. Udyr might not get out in time or get the dragon on top of it, and it looks like Fiddlesticks is there, actually dropping a ward right this second. Medikai right behind him. This is not a good situation. Did get dragon, but pinned against the wall, getting tossed out, and that's actually a mistake for Medikai. He had him pinned back with no escape, instead giving him an opportunity to run with 31 health. This is going to be really, really close. 39 health with double buffs. Losiro diving in to try to provide nice slow to get some support, and Fiddlesticks being denied. Medikai taking some turret damage as well, and that was absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Losiro with the save. Frost Arrow diving across. It looks like Spunkify reacting, but not able to get the turret. Was thinking maybe they would press against that, so just kind of a warning turret. Now a 3-on-2 situation. Fiddlesticks still somewhere out there, so they need to be somewhat careful. I think Fiddlesticks is level 6 or 7 at this stage. I didn't get a good look last time, so he does have an ability to hop in lane, do a ton of magic damage across several opponents, can really be the dominant factor in any team fight, particularly if there's a lot of disables. And it looks like Losiro elements are controlling the bottom lane currently, so it looked like the Lux has backed off. Middle lane, Chewbacca is surprisingly not doing any additional damage. Udyr moving up, perhaps there's a clairvoyance there, perhaps thinking, and I think that was the point out, thinking, hey, is the blue buff going to be coming across from Fiddlesticks? Is there going to be a gank opportunity? Does Ryze want to go up and take the golem buff as well? You can see that the heart with the X mark on it is the damage ability that Tristana does, where you don't heal as effectively. She's a very hard character to solo lane against. And Swain on the top lane is just crushing these minions. He's an excellent farmer. He's already at 46 minion kills, leading all players. Tristana in second. It looks like the middle turret going to take some damage. Nasus, Lociero coming around, does not see, it looks like gotten an engagement with the Lux that I missed. Udyr has to swing around, provide some protection now after the blue buff. Ryze out of position. You can several times he's had to pull back, and I'm not surprised against Tristana. So, and this is additionally Super John, I believe, on the verge of level 6, if not level 6, because of the factor of the replay. Has an ability where she can shoot across screen, kill any players with low health, and it's an instantaneous effect. Pharaoh moving north to try to catch Fiddlesticks at the red buff, dropping a ward there, not finding him, is going to be able to see when that red buff is in position, maybe run forward, take Fiddlesticks out, and is now backing off. Spunkify covering that top lane. Swain is missing here, so Pharaoh needs to be somewhat careful here. Lux doesn't have a stun, diving in. Poppy trying to do some damage left before stun, getting pulled back, and Elements needs to continue to be careful, taking a lot of damage there on that south lane. And just pushing in and trying to regenerate. Actually, it's 2 Philosopher's Stone, and I have no idea what she's building towards. Another group effect there by Lux. Very good with the disables, very good at control. There's Fiddlesticks moving to the red buff range, and let's see how Udyr decides to react. Udyr actually at a southern position, and Spunkify. Let's see if he what he does here in the meantime, because he does have a crystal arrow. He could stun at position to buy some time for Udyr. Unfortunately, I don't know that it would be worth it though. This is a long distance to really cope with and to really aim at that, but as long as, because Fiddlestick stands there for, and never mind, there's a crystal arrow, hits for about a third health. That is going to stun. That's got to give an indication. Swain immediately should back off, and it looks like he is going to now take that top lane to help protect Fiddlesticks. And let's see how Udyr plays this. He is moving a little bit north, but no, he's going to go into the blue brush, and I like the brush here, and I love this decision. He's going to catch Udyr completely, is going to catch, Swain completely out of position. Swain not going to have a lot of opportunity to escape. Tristana trying to cover and support, but Ryze there to cut her off, plus a stun, plus burst damage. Pharaoh with the kill with 3 to support. Nicely played there, and I like the fake out between that and the crystal arrow. Lociero being well pushed off lane. He's got a 1 versus 2 situation here. Looks like Fiddlesticks moving back around a little bit carefully, and Colby Cheese, I assume Chewbacca low on health and is getting boxed out here by Colby Cheese, denied a little bit of experience away from those minions, but Lociero also in a little bit of a dire situation. Nice dodge, still trying to hit, but is slowed, taking some additional damage, toss back, and I think we're going to see a death on Lociero, being forced to pop the ultimate, trying to do damage where he can. Now Super John trying to peel off, but we have Udyr coming in to the rescue to maybe get some additional damage, going to save Lociero at the very least, but then Pharaoh actually able to kill on top of it. A nice little spike there. Elements killing Super John, and Lociero just dodging, I assume, a death from Super Lux's ultimate. Colby Cheese in dangerous situation now. They're almost getting Chewbacca with all of the burst damage. That is the danger of Ryze. Now 2 top lane Fiddlesticks there to support, and at 6-2 the gap is opening for team coaching, doing a fantastic job dominating on all lanes. I assume this south tower, now that 2 are out of position, there's only 3 left out in the field, and Nasus coming to support, are easily going to be able to take out this southern turret. It looks like Tristana, yeah, still middle, still low on health, I have to assume. I don't know if she's gone back to heal up or what. Last look, we were at 136 health. Spunkify has not died, which is critical on top lane. It is going up against Swain. There's that turret being taken out, which is going to open up a lot of coverage actually on that south lane, particularly to the golem buff, which again, just good. And really Fiddlesticks has been a null factor, and I want to emphasize that whenever Fiddlesticks is a null factor, it's a dangerous situation. Looks like jumping in, I just missed an ultimate, not catching anything, but Chewbacca having to ghost, taking some damage, getting stunned, might get taken out here. Fiddlesticks running in to try to provide some support and push their opponents back, are successful in doing so between a fear, but Elements going in for a snipe. Is she going to get the snipe? Hitting Chewbacca, doing some damage on top of it, and an ignite. I think that ignite will do it. So Elements does get the kill, but now trapped in between 2, trying to push her way through. Got feared there. I think this is a... Oh, is she going to be able to get up? Oh, and there's a snipe from Super Jam across the map. Nice play, but still forced an ultimate, forced a lot else out of that attack, which, so nice effort to at least expend. Now a 3-on-2 situation, need to be careful. Spunkify back the main. I think it drew me there because of and actually, wow, I think that was the first pullback to the top, to spawn, so that shows you how successful Spunkify has been against Swain, who now has the Catalyst as well as a Magic Mantle. I'm not sure that they really need the Magic Mantle as much as Team Coaching, and I expect Team Coaching to... Yeah, we already have a Magic Mantle here to provide some AP resistance against this very AP-heavy team. ability power is what I mean. That's all the magic stuff, basically. Pharaoh covering the bottom lane while everyone gets back in position. Looks like Lociero in the middle lane. This is, it looks like he's also gone Heart of Gold, and Sheen, an amazing, basically using ability. The next hit does a ton of damage, and we'll see what he builds that into. Heart of Gold as well to provide some additional armor. And just expecting perhaps to get less team kills, perhaps. I'm not sure, but it'll also build gold. It's a really good item to have. Start for any tank. I highly recommend it for any tank. Dueling wards here across the dragon. It looks like Spunkify getting backed off a little bit, and let's go ahead and give another pause, check out the items, and look at the minion counts. So really, the key player here thus far, Udyr, has done a fantastic job jungling, is at 57 minion kills, has taken down 1 turret on top of it, and thus far been a highlight for team coaching. Already has the Wriggler's Lantern out, which provides some additional lifesteal, some additional armor, some additional damage, and critically provides a little ward that you can place. It's an ability where you can place a ward anywhere on the map. Nasus with 4 assists, so the assist hero thus far, Ashe. Spunkify already has a BF sword, which provides a bunch of additional damage, has some boots, has a ward to place, magic resistance as well, perhaps needs it against the Swain. Colby Cheese going Tear of the Goddess to build into some more ability power items, also provides some additional mana rebuff. Looks like he's gone Boots and Calloused as well, and I'm not sure what's happening with Poppy. As far as the 2 Philosopher's Stone, does have Sheen. Sheen, again, a great item. Whenever you use it, you use an ability, the next attack does a ton of damage, and you get additional ability power, which makes all of your spells more effective as well. Also Boots of Swiftness, which is interesting, which I assume makes sense for Poppy because she's a little bit more tanky, wants to absorb damage, and on top of that has some disables where, I mean, she can eat the disables. She knows she's not going to be disabled because she has an ability where she can attack, she can place something on an opponent, and she only takes damage from that opponent. And as a result, she's probably not going to be the main focus of a lot of the spells from the opposite team. Swain actually leading all minion kills at 71. He's gone mostly ability power. Looks like Tristana going for standard damage items thus far. Looks like Singe. This is what surprises me. Sapphire Crystal for Singed. Also Doran's Rings for both casters. That's expected. Catalyst already for Lux. And I haven't seen much else for that Fiddlesticks. Going to bring it back up to full speed. And hopefully you don't mind that distraction just to get a stakes. And so team coaching and firm control of this match thus far at the very least. Looks like they're going to move up, maybe check blue buff, maybe go for a gank on Chewbacca, 3-on-1. Pharaoh, again, that Udyr can do a lot of damage. Going to swing around, drop a ward there. Again, try to disrupt that Fiddlesticks. They're going to catch Medikai actually in open field. Again, trying to pin him back in that corner, and this might turn into a 3-on-2 situation. Nope, never mind. Able to kill him just too rapidly. That Lux not coming to support or back off. I forgot that there's no turret there. Needs to be somewhat careful because there is a cutoff. She is going to get into safety. Never mind, pinned to the wall, taking some additional damage, but able to get her shield up to nullify that attack. For a second there, Colby Cheese looked like he was going to try to do some support to that southern lane, getting some burst damage on Chewbacca, and again, Udyr can come off that lane and do some additional damage. It's going to be a fist fight here between Chewbacca and Colby Cheese, but it looks like Chewbacca popping a potion and backing off, just too much burst perhaps. Spunkify has not given any ground, fortunately, on this turret, and it looks like that turret still mostly at full health, but at the same time hasn't gotten a lot of damage done on the opposite turret, so, and really that's what you would expect. The 2 now going after that dragon to get some bonus gold. Really a key minion who controls it, and it looks like a nice spotting here where Kevin Blaze moving up to the golem buff, finding nothing, and let's see if they move down to dragon. They might be in a dangerous situation with Pharaoh and elements right here, and it looks like they are going to engage. Nasus there to support as well. Unfortunately, you do not have a range stun or disable, but Poppy dodging it, or sorry, using an ability to get in range. Wow, additionally with the stun, and Pharaoh finishing off with the kill, and Pharaoh is just looking scary. Just so many kills thus far. So many kills. Swain still working against Spunkify, but it looks like Spunkify is holding his own here in line against Girlstar. And it looks like the Pharaoh is still just examining, wanting to catch someone. They're surrounding the turret. They might press it, might be aiming for a team fight somewhere up here. They still need to be careful with Fiddlesticks around. It looks like Chewbacca low on health and somewhat pinned in. They're going to dive in for diving on everybody, stunning the Fiddlesticks, not Fiddlesticks getting annihilated in turret range. And let's see what they can do to try to clear it up. Looks like that actually minions within range, so they might be able to work on that turret. Now moving to the north to perhaps get an additional kill. Element stealing that blue buff. And it looks like Swain missing. Swain was moving to the south, now caught in open field. Let's see if we... Oh yeah, stuns everything there. There goes Swain. Goodbye, Swain. Now 11-3. Sheesh. And kills happening everywhere. And wow, 2 turrets down. Huge lead for team coaching, and they're doing absolutely everything correctly. Clearing the minion side of the, I'm sorry, the forest side of the field here. Just farming it up. level 9, level 11, level 10 equivalently across the field. There is a significant minion push to the south, but being 2 turrets up there, this would probably lead to a a turret trade situation. Looks like Spunkify is going to return to the north, both to farm and perhaps work on that top turret while their teammates are hanging out into the jungle. Loceiro taking a free turret hit right there, but in position, just clearing out a little bit here. And this is one of those devastating situations for team opponent where they don't know the positioning. It looks like they have 4 players here, which is exactly what they don't want because it's spread experience across this minion line. So yes, they protect the turret, but at the same time, they do not get additional experience. There is, yeah, that minion push pushing the south, but note with 4 there, Spunkify looks completely free to take out this top turret, which he's not been able to work on very much on the field at all, but needs to be somewhat careful because those 4 can switch around. Yeah, needs to get out of here because the Swain gets some solid disables. Could be very, very scary. Still damage done. South turret taking a lot. Looks like Nasus will be able to clean this attack up, but still a little bit of turret damage wasn't taken out. Lux now in the middle lane. Udyr still clearing out the forest. Poppy coming up to cover mid. 11-3 currently, and starting to get into a solid mid-game situation. And looks like roaming around for a gank. And this is really where the team, team opponent needs just to run around, try to get ganks, and they do need to focus on Ashe as much as possible. Spunkify with a nice dodge. Spunkify needs to just shell up, play a lot more defensively. Udyr might want to cut out the jungling, just stick with the team thus far, or stick with maybe a counter roaming gang with Poppy. Just try to catch, at least do some spotting. Wards would be absolutely huge here. Shrila's Revelry now on here, and I suppose that's something that was from one of those Philosopher's Stone. That's actually a new item to me, but it looks like it's health bonus, passive read. Oh, wow, actually it's really nice. It gives you some movement, things like that. Diving in, going to try to pick off Swain. Arrow misses. Looks like he thought he was going to hug the turret a little bit more, but does not. And with Fiddlesticks there, they both need to back off. Just out-leveled and a lot of additional damage. Looks like Colby does have the Rod of Ages. Also, the Tear of the Goddess has done fantastic thus far against Chewbacca, and it looks like Loceiro also doing some significant damage against Lux here in the south, but it looks like a decent team fight. Udyr coming off the line as well. They are going to be able to get Swain, but 2 more coming up. Let's see. Singe can do a pick-off. Swain not escaping. There is Fiddlesticks' ultimate, fearing Pharaoh, trying to focus on Pharaoh here. Singe trying to get up and do some damage too, but Fiddlesticks now getting focused counterwise, and Pharaoh able to do a nice cleanup. Medikai in the fight, but getting wiped out. And woof. Just, it is too much, and that was nice team play altogether to take out a 3-on-3 situation. And I think this is going to open up Colby Cheese in the middle lane. Looks like Loceiro is diving across to try to catch Lux, and let's see if it'll happen. Getting a little bit greedy, popping the ultimate. Is going to chase nearly back to spawn, but eating a lot of damage in the meantime. Top turret is taken out. Looks like Colby Cheese is pushing on that mid lane as well, but Nasus a little bit stranded, perhaps realizing he can do so because there's so many enemies down, but nevertheless pinned behind a turret, getting drawn back there as well. But wow, that's actually clever, allowing the next minion line come up. But Chewbacca with the cutoff lane. Loceiro getting gritty, might have to pay for this. Stun right there, getting kicked back into the turret range. Nice play by Chewbacca. I think Loceiro is going to get taken out. He is quite tanky though, and it looks like Chewbacca, yeah, not doing enough damage to take Loceiro out. Medikai moving up though, and that is a dangerous situation. Dodging just in the nick of time to avoid that disable, and I don't know how Loceiro got out of that, to be completely honest. Should have probably, I mean, that's probably the top damage dealer on the opposite side, and still not able to get a kill. Granted, it is the tank, but nevertheless does not have a lot of tanky items, and perhaps it was just, I'm not even sure that there's a level disadvantage there though. Elements moving north to cope against Singe. Looks like Lux coming over to support, and Poppy needs to be very careful because it is a group situation attack. You're gonna, this is kind of greedy. Going after the blue buff with Fiddlesticks nearby, who might go for that blue buff. Ashe pushing up to provide some support, also going to be in this sneaky cutoff lane. Does have an arrow. Looks like going to see Chewbacca and Lux along that northern edge, and they do have kind of quite a surround situation if they get a little bit greedy. Nasus now moving around. It looks like they're all kind of staging for that team fight. Elements now has the blue buff. Fiddlesticks on that bottom corner might be in a position to get taken out, but it looks like 4, I think 3, no 4, it's 2 here to the south. A fierce situation. Let's see if, nope, actually going to draw out, and I thought that Fiddlesticks was going to engage there, but perhaps worried about teammates coming in. Now Loceiro once again caught on the corner. Ashe not in a real position to help, some stuns, whatnot, but in a clairvoyance as well. Thought more of the team was there, and that was mostly a luck back out because they didn't know where Ryze was located. They saw Pharaoh to the north and worry about a reinforce perhaps. But you can see just the positional advantage because the turret's down, also level advantage, and they're really pushing it through really solidly. Some nice splash damage. They're trying to work on Swain. Looks like, and again, these guys so AP heavy. on the opposite side. I'm just waiting for any sort of mana resistance, anything mana resistant on the opposite side. Ooh, Super John getting caught on that corner, probably going to get popped with Pharaoh exhorting turret damage, does not mind. Team fight 3 on 4 still here, and Fiddlesticks dodging in where he can, is still at Catalyst to the Protector, and he really wanted some more AP items here. Also going health, also going magic resistance themselves to deal with the Ryze, perhaps. Seeing that Ryze has, I'm kind of surprised by that because I'm not seeing not a ton of AP. I guess Nasus has gone somewhat AP. Actually, it has that Trinity Force, which provides a lot of, does some crowd control effects, does a lot of effects. Able to take out then Element's getting too greedy. And actually, never mind, not too greedy, using her ultimate to cover some damage. Nasus popping in, able to focus Chewbacca, taking Chewbacca in with the ultimate out there, but getting tossed back on the ropes. Let's see if Swain can get a disable on top with Fiddlesticks diving in. Lociero again escaping with 83 health. Is it going to be enough? Still pushing out, and that is the way you want to do it. So pro, but Ashe being feared back. Spunkify in danger. Elements trying to come into cover. Swain still pressing through. Lociero turning around to try to suicide. Perhaps, never mind, actually just doing a disable. Elements covering from behind, and wow, where there should have been a ton of destruction there, nothing happening. Now Swain in trouble, being attacked by Poppy and Udyr with the cutoff flame. Udyr easily going to be able to get that kill. Elements actually getting the last hit though. And what turned into a positive situation through some nice teamwork, through some brilliant teamwork, turning into an advantageous situation from team coaching, and they are dominating for pushing the bottom lane. Currently, a lot of troops, looks like an empty area. Well, actually, never mind, catching with that area effect attack. I didn't think Udyr was going to stick into that, but just continuing to press and just happy to take damage because he has so much armor and whatnot underneath. Actually not hitting Lux, going for the Spark, perhaps just to encourage these guys to press off lane. That is going to pull them back. Looks like Lociero also pushing mid. That top turret also in danger. Looks like Spunkify now coming up to support, and Spunkify should be scary here, so pausing a moment. So we have a Black Cleaver to include, sorry, hold on a second. Bring the tab up. There we go. A little bit slow there. No, come on, come back. There we go. So thus far, Rod of Ages. Looks like you also have a Tear of the Goddess, 17 kills to 3. Domination thus far. A bonus attack damage and attack speed. And the Black Cleaver, what it also does is it reduces armor across the board. I don't know that that's really necessary against the team they're fielding against, because keep in mind the only armor player that they're really going up against here is Singed, and Singe is in a 5 death deficit, still at level 9. Also a pickaxe to provide some additional damage. And you have the Trinity Force, which again, just in case you don't know the abilities, it's just a potpourri more or less. You get additional mana, additional health, additional movement speed, critical chance, attack speed, ability power, and attack damage. And when you hit, you slow the target, and it basically works like a Sheen as well. Opposite side, some ability power items, but really not enough to be significant. And you can see their damage dealing carry. So the ranged DD, the person who you need to have the most attack items, still sticking at pickaxe, Doran's blades, as well as a longsword. So it doesn't have really any attack items at all, is just not that effective, which is why in early attacks against the Nasus, among other things, not having a lot of success. Swain, and again, very heavily towards the AP items. Catalyst here for Singed. Yeah, not having a lot of success. I'm kind of curious about the decision on Black Cleaver, which I'll ask, I'm sure I'll ask Spunkify about later, but already a very squishy team. I'm curious why he decided to go that instead of Bloodthirster, perhaps. Maybe it's because he was going up against Swain initially, or maybe even not Infinity Edge, actually, against these guys. Because again, Black Cleaver makes sense, I would say, against a little bit stronger team. And again, I'll ask it again, and I just missed a kill. I assume Pharaoh, I'm not even sure, an Ignite? I'll just assume Ignite. He's got Ginsu's Rage Blade, which just a lot. Tag. There's GG, I assume. Oh, perhaps. I don't know. A little bit of talk back and forth. Actually, sorry, that's all chat. Here or there. I'm not even sure what that was about. Odd spot in the commentary. I think team opponent has to be just disheveled at this stage. It's really what it comes down to. 18-3. The opposite team way over leveled comparatively. They have much better items. They have much better character set composition, I would say, because they needed to do a lot of kiting, and they really haven't had any room to kite or stand and fight. I don't think they can win a team fight right now. And yeah, really to do the kiting that they wanted to do, they wanted to have perhaps more turret advantage across the field, and right now behind on minion kills, behind on a lot, Dragon being worked at. Looks like they are gathering up for a troop fight. Middle lane somewhat, and basically push back across all lanes except for the top turret. And Not even sure what's happening here. Finally a Rod of Ages, but keep in mind, Rod of Ages, it increases magic damage through ability power steadily over time. So the longer you have it, the more effective it's created. And I think that is the first time I'm seeing this Rod of Ages. So it's going to take a while for that to get to full power. I like that placement on that ward, considering how, and look at the vision here. It's kind of the same thing in StarCraft. When you have vision, you have a big advantage over your team. Poppy being a little bit, trying to bait these guys out and draw them into a fight, which they do not want to get engaged in. It looks like in the meantime, 3 Udyr, who could probably solo Baron himself, and wow, that's a cool effect. With Colby Cheese and Spunkify going to take out Baron while Poppy holds middle. They might lose top turret in the meantime, but they might, and I actually like that. This is a nice safe time to do it because of that ward placement as well. They'd have to go all the way around to catch them out of position with this. So now they have Baron buff. They want to run up, try to get as much done as possible. Randuin's Omen also for Poppy here, and they've got really endgame items, the absolute endgame items, level 15, level 14 across the board, going up against level 10. So this is looking like a what I would call a hopeless cause almost at this stage. They still need to be somewhat careful, not give any opportunities. But Pharaoh drawing a little bit of the team to the south, moving out of turret range, providing some support, just eating a lot of the disables and whatnot, while the rest do some damage. Ooh, there is the hit of ooh, nice stun. Oh my goodness. And that was their one hope to get in. It's things going everywhere. Explosions and whatnot. I can't even keep up with it. Fiddlesticks diving in, but got stunned out of his ultimate, and that was the bait they were looking for. Just instantly able to kill him. Chewbacca down now as well, and they do not have any damage dealers left. They just have to retreat. Swain trying to provide some support, and now Medikai being taken out. The entire team, this is going to be an ace here. Super John should, trying to peel back. They do not care. They're running through turret fire as though it were just... as though it were toothpicks being thrown at them by a helpless little... Hey, eat the toothpicks. Get splinters in your teeth. Open inhibitor to open up the super minion spawns across the middle lane. That is now down. They're probably going to go Cell Turret 2. It does not have much health to stand in the way. I assume we're going to see a GG here in a minute. Second inhibitor down as well. That Fiddlestick still at level 10. Even if he did land, honestly, even if he did land with that ultimate and do a lot of damage with it, actually he's gone Spirit Visage. Again, more AP, so perhaps just worried a lot about the Ryze, even though this is and I guess to deal with the Sheens, but still a very damaged team. Tristana able to escape. Pharaoh still diving in where he can. It looks like they are working on that bottom turret. Oh man, that Fiddlestick's getting caught out of position once again, getting wiped out, and this is just a slaughter now. Absolute destruction everywhere. 3 being pushed back to their spawn. Lociero finally being killed. After all this time, Colby Cheese perhaps getting too greedy as well, but super minions are going to be here on this next minion wave. Yeah, you can see them with their big clubby fists. They're going to push up, and honestly, even with just super minion support, when Poppy there to provide some tanking, these guys are going to be able to do a lot with this Baron buff, maybe take out this last turret, and maybe even take out the Nexus with everything they've got going for them right here. And they still got some seconds before the spawning comes in. Now Swain back out in the field, doing what damage they can, and just, you can see Chewbacca, Fiddlesticks, just frustrated with what they're dealing with. Minions being killed before even the minion lines get here. Lux trying to do what she can and just not having success in doing so. Swain diving in, trying to focus on that Ryze. Some nice push out of it. Poppy doing some damage as well, but even on this 3-on-4 situation, that Fiddlesticks almost getting wiped out. 3-on-5 situation, Fiddlesticks almost getting wiped out. Super John taking half health damage there, and Ryze gets a kill with some support. Spunkify able to catch Chewbacca out of position right there, and minions actually taking out that top turret. Medikai actually having used the ultimate to just escape, but Arrow, oh man, actually got pushed out of the way by Poppy. So Poppy actually providing some support right there, and now it is a near max team versus a very beleaguered team. Nexus Open going to be taking damage, and that should be game. One last, and there's GG's across the board. GG's. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this was a highlight of team coaching going up against team opponent with using a League of Legends replay system. Check them out soon at GosuCoaching.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You can, if League of Legends is a free game produced by Riot Games. Special shout out to all of them and all the developers. Thank you for listening.